Welcome back to Esoterica. It's a cold, chilly night here in Hawke's Bay.
It is.
And we're sitting here in Esoterica HQ with the heater blaring. Producer Caroline's under a blanket. But we're stoked to be here, aren't we? We're stoked to be here. For us, this is Saturday and Easter weekend. And looking forward to lots of chocolate on Easter Sunday and all of those good things. Which means time off for work for you, doesn't it? Like means
by the time
long weekend.
By the time you listen to this, it'll be Monday, and it'll be coming to the end of the first long weekend. But then we have Anzac Day on Thursday, and hopefully, for those clever people out there, you've booked some time off throughout the week so that you get an extended holiday.
That's the one.
Unless you're, of course, a student or a teacher, and you already get the week off anyway.
That's right. Yeah. Although we don't get, like, this year, like, normally Easter and Anzac Day fall during school time, so we normally get that time off
So
school.
you've been ripped off a little bit here.
Yeah, but it means we finish earlier on in the year. So instead of, like, I think last year we finished, like, 13th of December or something like this, and this year we finished the 8th.
Nice.
So it's a bit of a change at the end of the year, which is kind of nice, so we could look forward to that.
That's when you're really struggling. End of year struggle.
Yeah, end of year struggle. Yeah. So we're drinking today. Beer of the week today is Moa Original Lager from Moa Brewing Company, which is down there in Marlborough. So we've gone for a lager this time rather than an IPA or anything else like that. So how are you feeling about the Moa Original Lager?
I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's very inoffensive. I think, which I mean, I know sounds like it's boring, but it's not. I think it's. I'm struggling with these now because I don't want to reuse sort of terms that we've used in the past to describe how we feel about beer. But no, I'm actually really enjoying.
Well, we don't go out of our way to get bad beer, like no. Like, and there are sort of superlatives and things like that you're going to use all the time. So I think this is an incredibly drinkable beer, and I know I've said that before. In fact, I think I said that last week about the Stoke that we looked at. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying a lager, for a bit of a change. So on the only scale that matters, Anthony, what are you giving the Moa Original Lager? What are you feeling?
A 7.8.
That's very specific. A 7.8.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 7. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, me too. Thank you, Moa.
Yeah, cheers, Moa. Well done.
Good beer. Again, always open to free beer if you're wanting us to review any of your other beer. Yeah. But no, really enjoying it. So if you're in the market for a nice drinkable lager, this is the one for you.
So James,
yes,
what's on top today?
Well, I was sitting there and I was thinking about this a little bit. And funnily enough, this sort of came to me thinking about Easter weekend. And I was thinking, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard whenever you're an adult. And
you can end it there.
That's it. This podcast done.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're an adult and you get to that point where you're like, I have to buy my own Easter eggs. Yeah. Like, you don't get given Easter eggs generally, that sort of stuff, and you have to buy your own Easter eggs. And another thought struck me, and this is one we're going to talk a little bit about, in terms of what's on top, is things you're just too old for, right? Just think, and as I head through this journey of life, and this should be reasonably interesting because you're 10 years younger than me, this should be reasonably interesting. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm really not that fussed about Easter eggs.
No, neither.
Like, whenever I was young, I'd have been like, yeah, Easter, like, that means lots of chocolate. We didn't often eat chocolate in my house whenever I was young. So it was like, lots of chocolate, lots of sweet stuff, blah, 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 blah. And then when you become an adult and you can sort of eat chocolate whenever you want, sort of the desire to eat chocolate largely disappears. And I can have, like, chocolate sitting around in the cupboard for ages and not actually touch it.
I think a big part of this too, especially in New Zealand, is that Cadbury have dropped the ball big time in the last few years. So for those of you who are not sort of up to speed with Cadbury, which, by the way, is now an example when it comes to marketing. They're now an example in universities of how not to market yourself. So Cadbury did a number of things really bad.
Yeah.
So they, first of all, they increased their prices whilst reducing the size of the blocks of chocolate.
Yep.
And then they swapped out. They now use. I think they may have swapped back, but they were using palm oil.
Yeah, which comes with all sorts of problems.
Like it's just it's sort of this. The texture was awful for Cadbury, and the way they went about it was really bad. So Whittaker's basically came out and said, "Look, we're increasing our prices, but we're not changing anything else."
Yeah.
So Whittaker's got a huge boost, and Cadbury have really suffered.
Yeah.
And especially with things like Cadbury cream eggs, which are a big deal, they've also gone. They're horrible.
They've changed the recipe, haven't they? Like
it's
not. They're nowhere as good as I remember them being. Like the filling of them is not as good as I remember.
The filling is more like it's got a more sort of
it's
thick,
more like viscous.
That consistency is awful. Yeah. And so Cadbury have, and also of course they, as we all know, they shut down the Dunedin plant, and
so everything's made in Australia now.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And I remember reading something about this a long time ago, talking about the different consistencies of chocolate around the world, and one of the weird things, or one of the differences with where chocolate made in the Antipodes is distinct from, the northern hemisphere, generally, is because of the temperature here, because it's so much hotter. Chocolate's oilier because it stops it from melting on the shelves, that sort of stuff. And obviously Australia is warmer than New Zealand, and so the recipe for chocolate is slightly different. It's oilier and that sort of stuff. And I'm finding myself not so much a fan of Cadbury chocolate. I used to quite like Cadbury chocolate.
You and I both. Yeah.
And I'm not so much of a fan. And the other thing I was thinking, and this ties into what we're doing, is I don't really care about Easter eggs.
No, same.
Like, I don't get excited really about an Easter egg.
No.
I don't sit there and go, an Easter egg. And I just sort of sit there and go, the faff of like all the foil and then trying to deal with the Easter egg. I'm like, and paying like, what is it, like $18 for like an egg. And I'm like, just get a block of chocolate. Like,
well, like last night, my dad dropped off some chocolate for us. Yeah. And it was just blocks of Whittakers. He said, might as well just give you some Whittakers because it's better than the chocolate they use in Easter eggs anyway. And I thought, that's great.
And it's about a third of the price.
Yeah, exactly. But it's far better.
Because it's not an egg. Like, So, let's talk a little bit about things that you're too old for.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Things that you're too old for. So I'm going to start with one. Because we're podcasting. No, because we talked about this a little bit last week. Because I dropped in the fact that I'm too old now to stay in other people's houses. So so I'm gonna go with another slightly interesting one. I think I'm too old for house parties.
Yeah,
I'm too old. Too old for when you're a teenager. And you end up at some house party because it's like, your best mate's cousin's friend who is having a house party somewhere. And so you rock up with some beers. And it's going off.
Yeah,
and you have to go because, and there's about 3 people there. And for some reason, there's like 100 people in this person's house. Yeah. And you live in a small town and you still don't freaking know anyone there.
So how do you know Sarah Fitzpatrick? I know Sarah Fitzpatrick through my girlfriend, Beatrice, who is friends with Luann. You might know her. And she's friends with Frederick over there.
And you always go and you end up having a really miserable night because you sort of sit round and all there is to do is get drunk because you don't know anybody. So, you sit there and drink really awful cheap booze in a situation where you know nobody. And then you're like, well, this was a bit of a bust. I'm too old for house parties. Yeah. I don't do it. I have no desire to go out. Generally I have no desire to go out and meet people.
Basically, just people in general.
Just people in general.
Yeah.
You sit there and you go, oh. Yeah. There seems to be a point in your life that you get to where it switches from being like, oh, I could go and meet people and stuff like that, to being like, how many people am I going to know there?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not a greater majority of the people that are there, I'm like, no.
So this is where I think maybe the age difference thing comes in. But I tend to be quite standoffish when it comes to house parties now. If it's someone I know that's hosting it and someone's place that I've been to before, that's fine.
It's fine.
If
Like,
it's
if you were
someone
having a house party, I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I might not know some people there, but that's fine. I know you.
Yeah. But when it's someone you don't know, or a friend saying, oh, come over to, so-and-so's place, that's when you sort of start to go...
And there's always that awkward moment, we're about 3 beers in and you need to use the bathroom. And you've no idea who to ask about where the freaking bathroom is. Because, and you'll ask somebody and they'll be like, I don't know, I don't live here. You're like,
And you do, when you have a night off, because I know when you're, I guess, a teenager, with it, the logistics of getting home or where you're staying aren't necessarily as important. Or you don't mind crashing on the floor and having a small rug over you as a blanket or something. But when we work a full week. And you get to the end of the week and you think, okay, I can either worry about, who's going to sober drive, the logistics of getting to the party and home again.
Yeah.
Or I could stay home.
Yep.
Relax.
Watch Netflix.
Watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Or spend some time with a significant other. Yeah. Or play PlayStation. Or just relax and actually just...
Go, you know what, I'd much prefer to do that.
And it sounds really good. Like, that sounds really good.
And I'm weirdly going to jump in with the second one.
Yeah.
And say, there's a weird tipping point that you get to where, like, as a teenager or somebody, or when I was in my early 20s, like, that sort of stuff, I used to hate it whenever I had a weekend with nothing to do. I'd sit there and be like, I've got nothing to do this weekend. I've got to find something to do. I've got to find somewhere to go. Now... I hate having shit to do in the weekend, and I much prefer to be like, to look at the weekend and go, yes, I've got nothing to do this weekond, like just a weekend off. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't want anybody to call me. I don't want to, I don't want to go for beers. I don't want to. I'm off the grid. I'm off the grid. I'm done.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Yeah. I'm with you. It is such a relief.
And it's a big switch. Like, because it's
Caroline and I do that all the time. Like, are we doing anything this weekend?
Yeah.
Because of course I'm really, really bad at remembering whether we have plans. So, like, are we doing anything this weekend? No, I don't think so. On Saturday. No, nothing. And you just feel this wave of relief and of
if I ever tell you I might come, there's a 90% chance I'm not coming. There's like 90%
maybe
chance. If I say maybe,
that means no.
It basically means no. Unless I'm keeping the door open just in case some bolt of inspiration hits me at like 7:00 that night, and I'm like, actually, you know what? I'll go out. But 90% I'm not coming.
I think I'm very much because I'm quite I love socializing at parties and things. Like, I'm really into that. I was about to say I'm a socialite, but I hate that too.
Social butterfly.
A social butterfly. No, but I do like that. It's when you're there, it's great. It's actually, I think it's the build up. I think it's thinking about it and the effort and things.
And I would say
it becomes harder and harder.
That's right. And I would say we're both pretty good at that. We're both pretty good at actually talking to people when we're there. And again, once you're there,
it's fine.
Generally great. Like, generally a good night out. And you're like, and how many times do you sit there after a night out like that and you go, that was really good. I should do this more often. Like, I should go out more often. And then the next time something comes up, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I have to leave the house. And, especially in winter when it's like, it's cold and it's dark. And,
Hawke's Bay's terrible for that.
I have to put my shoes back on. And go it just becomes such an effort.
I've made a cup of tea. And
like, actually, there's, that game I want to play.
Yeah.
And, like, I find that far more like it's an effort, and I just don't want to make an effort. Right, so something that you're too old for, like, because I've given you two now. I've got plenty. Trust me, I can go on all night about things I'm too old for.
What am I too old for? I'm turning 27 next month, and I'm finding that for the first time
downhill from there.
It really is. I'm finding for the first time in my life that my body is failing me.
Yeah, it's a hard lesson.
Producer Caroline, why are you laughing?
Yeah. It's a hard lesson, isn't it?
It is a hard lesson. So I've been playing football for the first time. Well, no, I've been playing 7-a-side and stuff every summer, which I love. But playing on a full pitch, normal league football throughout winter is a whole different kettle of fish. And I never used to hobble off the field after every game. And I'm having that now. I'm having shin splints. I feel like my legs are made of glass every time I come off.
You used to look at, like, old men doing that and you'd be like, oh, God.
I would laugh about it.
Yeah.
And I think,
you're like,
oh, I'll never be like,
Yep.
And you never think it'll affect you.
No.
You never think it'll be you.
The moment it really hit home for me, that same thing, the moment it really hit home for me was actually during the last show that I did. And people turn around and go, oh, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I throw myself off, whatever, whatever. That's fine. And when I was in my 20s, like, that was, okay, like, you might hurt yourself or whatever, but you'd be like, a day later you're fine and you're back up and you're running around and it's all good. Now for me, it's like a week. Like, something happens and I'm like, oh God, that hurts. Yeah. And that hurts. And like, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
It's like, I now start to understand that whole thing of youth is wasted on the young.
Yes. They don't appreciate how good they have it.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. I actually have another one.
Okay, yeah.
I was just thinking about this. So, this is a funny one.
All right.
Okay, so, like when you're growing up and you see people with, like, nostril hair. And you think, that's so weird, like, and it's never ever something you think that you will ever have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's so out there.
Yeah.
I've had to deal with that recently. I've actually had to. I've had a couple of hairs in my nose that I've had to cut because I'm like, what?
And they like stick out, and you're like, and then you have to like tweezer them or get rid of them, and then it's like the most painful experience of your life.
It is, and it's so awkward, and your eyes tear up and things.
You're trying in the mirror to like,
but it's like, why on earth am I worried? That's something you never ever. No one ever talks about it. No one ever talks about nostril hair.
No, or
having to deal with it. And you see with I think you notice it more in older people because they've gotten to an age where they just simply don't care anymore about that. So they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna own this. And whatever, I don't care. But when you're 27, I'm like, what is this? What is going on? So it's now something I have to worry about. And I mean, it's not crazy. It's not like every sort of day or whatever, but every couple of weeks, I'm like, what? That's bizarre. That's really weird.
I'm going to weirdly piggyback on that again.
Yeah.
I'm too old now to not be comfortable. Like, again, I remember in my late teens, early 20s and stuff, and going into town and wearing something that you thought was cool or whatever else like that, and you'd freeze your tits off, and you're like, no, it'll be fine once I get in to whatever, it'll be fine. I'll be all good. I don't want to have to deal with the code. I don't want to have to. I'm too old now not to be comfortable. I refuse to be cold. Like I refuse to be cold in a house or whatever. I refuse to be cold going out. If I think it's going to be cold, I'm wearing a coat. Like too old now to not be comfortable. Like I'm like,
absolutely.
I'm going to be comfortable and I'm going to do it. Doesn't mean that you can't wear things that are good, but like I'm just like, no, I'm not.
And as you say, this producer Caroline is wrapped in a blanket.
Yeah,
over on the,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Too old to not be comfortable. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
not doing it.
With you on that.
And conversely, just talking about that, too old for clubs. Just actually going like. I actually have a really visceral reaction. Whenever you're out drinking, and there's always one plonker at about, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, who's had enough to drink and is like, let's go into town. I want to punch that person in the face.
But the thing about every that person time is they're so insistent. They're so insistent. Like,
come on, guys, like, let's go to town. Let's go to town.
And it's like, look, I get that you're...
I just
I
seriously want to punch that person in the face.
And like rule like no, you're coming to town.
No, I'm not coming to town.
Go with the boys.
I hate town. I hate clubs. I hate the press of people. I hate the fact that I come out deaf. I hate the fact that you pay like $10 for a drink and you have to wait for like 10 minutes to get service at a bar.
For sticky floors and regret.
And you spend all your time like dodging people who want to fight you. Or like I just too old for clubs. Too old for clubs.
I have to be a special kind of drunk to go to clubs.
Oh, I have to be 3 sheets to the wind. Like absolutely legless before I will go to a club.
Yeah,
Like
I do too.
It just
has to be a special occasion.
You know, anybody who says let's go to the Thirsty Whale, let's not.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah, let's not. Let's not go there.
Well,
And,
the thing with Napier is you really only have one choice, and that's sort of the key. So you go Thirsty Whale or Thirsty Whale. Really is your choice of clubs.
And I have to say, I'm so pleased, like places like the Paisley Lounge have opened up and stuff like Paisley Stage and stuff like that have. I keep wanting to call it Paisley Lounge, and I don't know why. It's the Paisley Stage.
Yeah.
Have opened up and stuff like that, which gives you a place to go and listen to live music and stuff like that, where it's not like that, which I really love. And I'd be quite tempted, like if somebody turned around and said, "Let's go down to Paisley," I'd be like, "Yeah, cool, let's go and let's go and check it out," or Common Room or somewhere like that. But
Common Room's neat. Yeah.
But if somebody's like, "Let's go to a club,"
no.
Yeah. No.
To dance to rubbish music.
No. Yeah, and I'm sure the music hasn't changed since I was clubbing in like my early 20s. Like the music is all the same. Like you go there and I'm like, has nothing been written since 2001? What's I think that every time, Nelly comes on.
Yeah,
or what do you call it? Living on a prayer, like that sort of stuff. You're like, oh, for God's sake!
Yeah.
Like I'm so done with this. I was done with this when I was 22. I'm certainly done with it now that I'm 36.
Turks on a Thursday? No, thank you.
No, thank you. Also, again, on that note, a lot of this seems to revolve around drinking.
It does, yeah.
But too old for shots.
Yeah.
Somebody says, let's do shots. I'm like, let's not.
No, thank you.
Just no, thank you.
I don't want to feel terrible in 5 minutes.
I just don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I think that whenever I was young, I didn't enjoy them when I was younger either. But
I don't think anyone enjoys them.
You kind of do it because it's sort of like everyone's doing shots, we're doing shots, that's fine.
It's a way of getting drunk quicker.
Yeah, which conversely, also, too old for catch-up drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Catch-up drinking, like that, it's the most insane concept. For those of you that don't understand what catch-up drinking was, it was this concept that if you weirdly went to a party later than other people, so let's say you'd been working and everybody else had been there for an hour or 2 hours, you convinced yourself in your head that everybody was going to be smashed. Yeah. So you had to drink as much as you could before you went to catch up to their perceived level of drunkenness. So you would drink huge quantities of alcohol very, very quickly to try and get yourself to a point where you could face going to some party or something like that. Too old.
3 words.
Too old.
Well, 4 words. New Zealand binge drinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's bad.
I participated quite heavily in that as a younger man.
I think everyone does.
It's
really.
just
most people do.
I can't.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Right, give me another thing. Give me another thing that you're too old for.
I am too old for drinking on a work night. I know we're going drinking again, but drinking on a work night, drinking a lot on a work night, like a couple of beers, sure.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to, drink away, go to a party, go to work the next day.
Yep.
Can't do it anymore.
Yep.
Can't do it.
I almost get the dry heaves thinking about how I used to drink whenever I was younger. So I remember and statute of limitations is up on this now, but I remember whenever
it's made me nervous.
Yes, whenever I was younger, again early 20s, I was in Wellington. I was working in a clothing company. Won't say what
generic
it was.
Clothing company limited.
And honestly, working with the best people, we were great friends in work and outside of work and stuff like that. And I remember, it used to be, I used to have Sunday, Mondays off. And I remember that on a Friday night, it was late night. And so we'd finish work at about 8:30. So by the time you closed up and everything, 8:30, you'd roll straight to town. So you'd go straight to a bar, you'd start drinking. And you would drink all through the night. You'd end up at somewhere it was, I'm sure this bar's gone by now, but it was a bar called Phoenix in Wellington, which was a techno club. Yeah. And it was the only club that
techno.
But the only reason you would end
disco.
up the only reason you'd end up there was because it was the only bar that was open till 6 o'clock in the morning. You'd go there at about 3 when everything else closed, and you'd be there until 6:30 in the morning. And then you'd rock home, have a shower, get changed, and go to work. Like, and so you'd go to work on the Saturday. And and then you'd work all the way through the Saturday, having had no sleep, having been up, drinking all night, all that sort of stuff. And this was not something that we did this was something that we did every weekend.
Wow.
I could not do that now. Like, I could not do that.
It's making my skin crawl just thinking about it. Insane.
I hear you.
Yeah. Insane.
I could not do that. I don't even understand how I did it then.
Yeah.
I could not do that.
No.
Way too old.
Yeah.
For that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way too old for that kind of thing.
No more.
Yeah.
No more. Can't do it.
Yeah. Do you know the funny thing I always thought about adulting whenever I was young? And I was always like, you know what would be really cool? Whenever I'm an adult, like, I can do whatever I want. Whenever I want,
freedom.
I'll be able to have parties. Like, I'm going to stay up late every night and eat whatever I want, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden you find yourself at 9 o'clock at night doing the vacuuming and being like, yeah, I should probably go to bed. And that becomes your life.
The idea of getting into bed before 10 and just lying there and being like, you could be on your phone or reading or whatever, and
it's
just
like an achievement.
So good.
Like, it's an achievement.
And it just feels so good,
I've successfully adulted today because I've gone to bed at a reasonable hour. It's not 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a work night. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I love also too how work night has become like synonymous with school night. Like, do you know how your parents are always like, not on a school night, not on a school night. Now it's you going, not on a work night, not on a work night. Yeah. Can't do that. I've got.
They were
onto
something. Those parents. They were onto something.
I know. I did. Damn them. All right.
Their guidance.
Give me one more thing. Have you got one more thing that you're too old for?
One more thing. What am I too old for?
There must be something else.
There must be. I have to really think about this.
Yeah.
I'll do a couple of quickfire things.
Okay.
Online first-person shooters, when it's not your friends, can't do it.
Agreed.
Can't do it.
Multiplayer
Multiplayer
in general without your friends.
Nah.
Agreed.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Agreed.
I'm struggling. I'm really struggling. There's so many things, but it's one of those things where you can't.
As soon as you think of it, you're like, yeah.
Disorganization. Okay, so not having your evening planned out. Like, for example, if
what we're gonna do,
it stresses me out now if I don't have dinner planned or something like that. Yeah. Because then if you don't, then it pushes everything later. Yeah. And then so that I can't do it anymore. Yeah. No more.
100% agree. 100% agree.
And I'm too old for.
I love the multiplayer gaming. I was like, that's that. Yeah, I'm there with you.
It's too much.
I'm there with you.
It's too much. I can't do it, and I don't care. Like, I don't.
No.
Yeah, I don't care.
No.
What's another one? I'm too old.
I
have to have naps now.
I'm not quite that bad.
I have to have naps. I quite often come home from work and have a little nap. And then get up and like quite often before the streams. Yeah. I will have a little nap. It's just to refresh. Yeah. I'm too old not to do. Mind you, I've always done that. That's probably it.
Okay, so I'll give you a couple of quick fire ones.
Yeah.
I'm too old for mosh pits.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Good shout.
Too old for mosh pits. Too old for festivals.
See, I'm not yet. I love festivals.
Too old for festivals. Yeah. I don't want to go and see a whole heap of bands that I don't really want to see. Like,
mind you.
If I'm going to go see a band, I want to sit down somewhere and watch the band. I don't want to be like.
Good point. I mean, I did bring up last time about Laneway how I was getting really irritated. I said like the worst thing about festivals are the people, and I still stand by that. Like my brother and I, Sean, we got to a point where we were sort of like, we're not going to go and see Florence and the Machine because we can't be bothered with the people. Yeah. And then so we ended up going and seeing, in my mind, what was way better was John Hopkins. Yeah. Because it would be way more sort of low key and we could get right at the front. So yeah, I'm with you on that though. I like festivals in a controlled way.
Yeah. Too old for sleeping in a tent just on the ground.
Oh yeah. I'm getting to that point. I feel like a couple of years I'll be.
You know what? Yeah. No, I'm just not doing it. Yeah. Like I'm just. Yeah. Just no.
If you have, what I really like about tents, if you have a very good air mattress. And you know, because like I have fantastic memories of like when of camping, being in a tent, and it's just you, and you hear the waves crashing or the rain, and reading. There's nothing quite like having a lamp hanging above you. You can hear things chirping outside. Well, not chirping, they're cricketing and whatever.
Air
outside.
mattress is the key.
It's air mattress. You can't just lie on the floor.
No.
And reading, I remember reading Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was amazing, being surrounded by nature and just, you felt, so that is really cool. But you're right, you need a certain level of comfort.
Yep.
Not to the point of glamping, because that's
No, it's a bit over the top, but
But
you
you need a
that,
bit of comfort.
That bare bones, just like no.
Not a bibblewhack kind of,
No.
not a little
Yeah,
tarp on
yeah,
a stick,
yeah,
like we
yeah,
had for high school
yeah,
camp.
yeah.
We had a,
God, did we what? No, I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
Too old for that.
With you on that.
Too old to drink and not feel the effects the next day.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. Like I can't do it. I'm tired. It just hammers me the next day if I've been up drinking the night before.
And you don't get anything done. That's another thing as well. I find now, if I do that, and then the next day I can't get anything done, you feel terrible if you don't get things done.
Yeah.
When you're younger, it's sort of okay. You sort of just, it's a day off, like But if you don't get anything done now, it feels bad. It just doesn't sit right. It really displaces how you feel about anything.
Too old to eat whatever I want whenever I want.
Yes.
Like I can't
Absolutely.
live like multiple days on McDonald's or it just does not
No, we had McDonald's the other night for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Even then I got a wrap because I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
I can't do it.
Isn't
this so funny? Like because it's like when you're young, you're like, like when I'm old, I'm gonna
I'm
do
gonna
all of this.
I'm gonna get a coop of McNuggets.
And I'm just gonna I'm gonna eat like KFC every day, and then you're like, no.
See, KFC, I can't remember the last time I had KFC.
No, I can't either. That's because KFC is rubbish.
It is awful.
It's rubbish.
It does vary from place to place throughout New Zealand.
And here's awful.
Here's awful.
Every time I go there, I'm disappointed. Every time. And I'll give it a go sort of once a year or so. And every time I go there, I'm always like, ugh, that was disappointing.
100%.
Like,
but I really like cooking at home now. I never see. That's another thing about. That's another thing about getting. I guess becoming older. Because I never had the confidence to cook a while back, and we it works really well for example for Caroline and I. Yeah. Because Caroline works late and all that, so I cook, which is great because I've got a bit more time. But it also means I can. It's up to me what we have, which is great.
I hate cooking.
No. The key is to do it in a really interesting way. You don't just cook something normally.
No, I hate it. I derive no pleasure in cooking. Like really? For me, no. For me, cooking is purely utilitarian thing. Like I derive absolutely no pleasure from cooking.
I get that.
At all. And don't get me wrong. I enjoy eating and I like food and I appreciate, a good cook, and somebody who makes brilliant food. I really do. I just derive no pleasure from.
Do you know what you need to do? You need to have a beer, and you need to have your own music playing.
Doesn't matter.
And you need to get a tea towel, and you need to sling it over your shoulder like a Michelin star restaurant.
I see. So your answer to this is that
it's raw.
Yeah, what's missing from my cooking is the aesthetic, not the.
It's the aesthetic. No, you need to feel like what you're doing's really good. So, because what I love just tweaking stuff, and it's all in seasoning and
oh, look, mate, I'm a good cook. I can, I actually, not blowing my own trumpet, but I'm actually a good cook. I can make really lovely things, and I have a couple of signature dishes that I do really, really well.
Do you? Indulge us. What are they?
I do a fantastic spicy pork rigatoni. I do a great lemon pepper chicken with deep fried parsnip as chips on top. I am a good.
Such a waste.
I'm a good.
There's
cook.
all these great dishes
I just hate cooking. I just hate it.
Why?
It just has.
Don't you feel so good after you've done it?
It's never appealed to me. Oh. I hate it. And I'm a neurotic cook, so if you're in the kitchen with me, I generally don't like other people in the kitchen with me. No. I'm a washer as you go person.
Which is great.
So
it's really good.
There's nothing left over afterwards. But anybody else trying to help just gets in the way. I just no, I don't. I don't like it. I don't do it. I just generally I'm like, ugh, cooking. Like, it does not appeal to me at all. No, I have no desire to be a great cook. Anyway, on that note, that's probably enough.
On the only scale that matters.
Yes. How much do all of these things? How old are you?
Yeah. Like, how do you rank being your age?
Like, sometimes I look at these young people and just look at all the hope in their eyes. And I think, that'll be gone soon.
Just you wait.
Just you wait.
You have no idea.
I guess I think as I get older, I give in a little bit more to my irritations. So, and maybe I'm a little bit more aware of what my irritations are. And so I compensate for them, and I'm like, oh, okay, that irritates me.
Which I think's good.
Like going to the supermarket, for example, irritates me. I hate going to the supermarket. Like today, oh my god, I went to the supermarket today, and there were lines out the freaking door. Like the supermarket's been closed for a day, and suddenly everybody's buying up as if they're doomsday prepping for I don't quite understand what this. Like I was literally in there to buy a loaf of bread, and a loaf of bread and some crackers or something like that, and I had 3 things, and there's lines of people that do trolleys of stuff, and I'm like, come on, not that many of you are cooking for 25 people for tomorrow. This is insane. Lines out the door. It was nuts, and I just felt myself getting increasingly irritated. And I mean, supermarkets irritate me at the best of times. I don't enjoy supermarkets. I don't enjoy being in them. I don't enjoy people. I find supermarkets to be a really utilitarian thing. I'm only there to get whatever it is that I need to get and then get out. It's one of the things I really liked about my food bag or bargain box or things like that is I didn't have to go to the supermarket to go and pick stuff up, or I'd be dead into getting my groceries delivered. The less I have to go to the supermarket, the better. And just going to the supermarket irritates me. The whole thing irritates me. Again, you go into supermarkets and, they put things in, what seems to me to be really illogical places. You don't have stuff next to each other that you're like, hang on a minute, why is this considered to be one thing and that's considered to be another, and this is,
do you know what really always trips me out? I'm sure, surely other people can relate with me on this. Every time I go to the supermarket and I'm looking for reduced cream and onion soup to make the perfect kiwi dip.
Yeah.
Every time.
And if you're listening to you from outside of New Zealand, reduced cream.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is onion dips, a foreign concept.
And onion soup. Reduced cream, onion soup. Just put it together, mix it all up, stick it in the fridge. Best dip you'll ever have.
Yeah. They can't. No. I've had this conversation with people overseas. Yeah. In the UK, you have to get these things online.
Really?
They don't have these.
Madge's onion soup.
No. And reduced cream by itself in a can, in that context, you can't typically get at supermarkets. Even though they have everything, you can't.
Really?
It's bizarre. Yeah. So
it's the best dip
it's
ever.
Not a thing overseas at all.
Oh, it's worth
to the point the point where people show visible disgust whenever you talk about this.
Oh, it's amazing. It is literally the best dip. Once you've had it, you will never get a store-bought dip again. They're just nothing else comes close.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's brilliant.
And we can't find it. We have no idea where. Every time you go to the supermarket, it's moved. It moves every time.
Yeah.
And they're never together.
No.
Even though, why else would you buy reduced cream?
I don't know.
Seriously. So why isn't it just buy the onion soup?
I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know.
It's never there.
Yeah. Supermarkets irritate me. They just irritate me. The whole thing about them irritates me.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So that's probably enough of irritations from being old. Okay. So let's move right along. Into Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
And I have a couple of things for you in Uncanny Valley today. So excuse me while I just get my phone. Now, I have a couple of articles for you on Uncanny Valley, and we're going to start with one that I thought was hilarious. So, the title of this article is Man Paid Flatmate £170 to cut off his penis in a drunken bid to go viral. So, a British man allegedly paid his flatmate €200, 170 pounds, to cut his penis off, and promised him more if footage of the amputation went viral. So the 33-year-old English teacher, so this is a 33-year-old man, this is not
it's an English teacher.
Yeah. Was seen bleeding heavily in the northern Spanish city of Zaragoza last month, sparking a bizarre police investigation. His mutilated penis was discovered in a bag at his home after officers reportedly followed a trail of blood to his flat. So he went through with this, right? According to local experts, an operation to reattach the man's penis had been successful. His flatmate
doesn't deserve it.
His flatmate was detained by the police, but the expat reportedly did not want to press charges and waived his right to compensation before flying back to Britain. It emerged this week that he offered the Spaniard money to carry out the stunt. The unnamed Brit planned to film the amputation and share it online and would pay his flatmate more money if it proved to be a hit. Local paper Heraldo de Aragon reports it is believed he promised him between €2,500 and €5,000 depending on the number of hits.
Oh my god.
The footage is said to have been erased, although it is not made clear if it was done before or after it went online. The repair reportedly drank 4 bottles of wine and took Valium to muster up the courage before going through with the amputation. Police initially said the expat had harmed himself and were not looking for anyone else in connection to the incident. But the case took a dramatic twist with the arrest of his flatmate on March 14th after a local paper claimed he had used a social media networking app to search for someone to film him amputating his penis. The 29-year-old Spaniard is being held in custody on suspicion of serious assault. He's expected to be formally charged following an ongoing probe despite his alleged victim refusing to press charges.
Okay, I've got 2 things.
Yes.
The first thing is that man doesn't deserve modern medicine. He doesn't deserve it. He didn't deserve to have his dick reattached. He didn't. He wasted medical personnel's time. Secondly, I am sick to death of people just cutting off their dicks. Look, doing stuff with their dicks. Stop it.
Maybe this is
doing that.
Maybe this is what we're missing. Maybe in order to boost our numbers, come on, Anthony, flop it out. We'll chop it off. Like it's like maybe that's what we're missing. Yeah, just put it on the table.
For goodness' sake, stop it.
I mean, how bad is that for
that
wanting?
Is awful.
Like, but how much do you want a viral video that you're prepared to chop your penis off?
I don't like saying this lightly because this is something that gets thrown around a lot and used in contexts which are quite often wrong. But I feel like to be in a position where you want to do that has to be mental illness related.
But I also sit there and I think what surprises me, right, is they deleted the footage of this. So it wasn't until so it was all for nothing. So he chopped his penis off all for nothing. It was what after the moment
if it would mean anything anyway.
It was after the moment that
At least I have
his
the video.
Chopped his penis off that he was like, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Okay, second one I got for you. Now the title of this is going to kick you off for a beginning, and I would like to say I don't quite agree with the title of this. So the title of this is Millennial Couple Asks Neighbor to Provide Homemade Granola and Whole Foods After Giving Birth, and it majorly backfired. Now this is put out there as a thing about millennials, right? And as an example of what millennials are like, and I don't think it has anything to do with millennials. It's just dickheads, right?
Yeah.
So, welcoming a baby into the family. So this couple basically in Philadelphia, decided or are part of a social network thing called At Next Door, right? Mm-hmm. So this person has tweeted about this. This is how we know about this. So people in my neighborhood can alert each other about crime and stuff like that. Great idea, right? Bring people in the neighborhood together, that sort of stuff. But today, somebody posted the most ridiculous thing ever. They posted, "My wife and I are having a baby. I'm starting a meal train because it's our first and neither of us have a clue what we're doing. If you are feeling neighborly, so I clicked the link because there is no way these people are asking strangers to make them food because they have one baby, right? Turns out they are in fact asking total strangers to help them with the most millennial phrasing I've ever seen in my life. And again, I want to say I don't think it's millennial. I think it's just dickhead. Yeah. Right?
This is annoying.
This is what they wrote. This guy sounds like a twit, right? About this meal train. So this is the person who this is the father to be. As the father-to-be, I'm teetering on the fence of emotions. One side is joy and excitement, of course, but on the other side is a great deal of fear. One of the things I'm most afraid of is not getting a great deal of sleep, and as a result, not being in the best frame of mind to offer my wife the support she needs to recover from the childbirthing process. That's why I'm putting together this meal train, or mental health check-in train. Or, do you need any help today train? A meal would be awesome. If you feel comfortable reaching out before you arrive to see if we might need anything else, that would be even more awesome. Okay. Relatively pretentious post to put up, to begin with. So the guy replies, it's like, trying not to be negative. I figured maybe it's like, if you make a lasagna and have too much, we would accept it kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would be very reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Inside was a totally unreasonable ask, but there were 30 plus specific meals with recipes.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
Now, and these meals, and I'm going to list a couple of them, just to give you an idea of what kind of meals these meals are. So it's not like, if you make lasagna or whatever. These meals, I think, and they're even broken out into like lunch ideas, dinner ideas, that sort of stuff. Right? So, things we like. Bagged arugula, spinach, or mixed greens. Sourdough bread loaf. Spiced lentil, sweet potato, and kale whole wheat pockets. Muesli snacking cookies, red lentil, chickpea, and coconut soup. The most pretentious sounding stuff ever. Lentil sausage and charred soup. This sort of stuff, right? Okay.
Oh my God.
And then he's like, then they let you know what they don't like, right? And if you can't accommodate, you can come and do their dishes or vacuum. This guy then rants about washing.
Wait, okay, the onus is on these people.
So
you can't accommodate, therefore you are punished for it.
So at the bottom, right, this guy's written, least favourite meals. Alex really dislikes mashed potatoes. But again, this isn't necessarily about food. Text me and check in. Maybe come visit. Vacuum. Wash some dishes. Walk the dog. That will nourish us just as much. Allergies or dietary restrictions. We try to avoid sugar wherever possible and eat whole, simple foods. This guy then tops it all off by telling us we can sign up for a day-to-day text. And if they decide they'd rather not see people, we can cook them a meal and leave it for them in a cooler he will provide in the yard because he couldn't be bothered answering the door. Right? So here's what he said. Special instructions. This comes out. Special instructions. He's written this in, right? Meal train is loose. We're looking for a check-in train to have people check in on us to see if we need or want anything as we acclimate, that's not a word, acclimatise to the new routine. That might mean a meal or some snack staples, yes, or it may mean stopping by and walking the dog or doing some dishes or simply bringing your smile and some conversation. Text me on your day and I can let you know what we need.
Text on your day? They have assigned days.
Yes. If we could
Did they have any choice?
If we could use some food, but prefer no distractions, I'll put a big white cooler in our side yard. And this guy's just written, if I don't egg their house, I deserve a reward.
They are saying, check in as if the onus is on other people to make sure they're okay. Like there's some fucking, prince and pauper of what are they?
And then he's like, there's been one response and it's been positive. Now I have 2 egg houses to egg.
Okay. First of all, I hate these people.
I know.
No, I do. I hate them.
How awful is this?
Hate's a strong word. I hate them.
We're having a baby and it's just going to be too hard. So, we'd like
Then don't have a baby! Yeah. If you cannot...
Yeah.
If you can't... you don't... If you can't do that, then don't have children. Don't plan to have children. And, I'm sorry, you're scared about your lack of sleep.
Okay. So there's a line, yeah?
Lack of sleep.
So there's a line, where you could have put something out like this, saying, hey, look, we're expecting our first baby, and,
any help would be appreciated.
May struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
As we get used to this whole thing, any help or advice or whatever would be appreciated. And then people can kind of go oh yeah, look,
and by the way, because it's an enabling thing, we apologise in advance for possible crying from the baby. You do the whole look, sorry, just so you know, this might happen.
Right. And then people might be like, God, I've I'll bake them something and take it over because I know how difficult it is. But whenever you start like listing like dietary requirements and you can just leave your meals outside if we don't want to talk to you and like all of this sort of stuff, I'm like, that is.
Are they?
Like it is truly like it's so truly tone deaf, like to the whole like how it comes across thing.
I feel like they never ever had to do anything themselves growing up. So these people, I think, must come from positions where, for the first time in their lives, they're having to do things or having to sacrifice parts of their lives.
Hire a nanny. Like if it's going to be that complicated for you, hire somebody. Like I just love that they're like, not only are they like, like, don't get me wrong, there are times in your life when you're like under a lot of stress, whatever else like that, and people cook meals and stuff. It's quite often like something that people do. That sort of thing. And
that's a favour, not a requirement.
I know. Like, I would always feel like in a situation like that, where if somebody did something like that, I'd just be so appreciative of the time and the effort that somebody put into actually doing that. Yeah. That you're kind of like that. Look, that's so amazing. Thank you so much. Like not like, oh my god, like here's a list of our dietary requirements. Here's meals that you can cook for us. Here's like just come over and wash our dishes.
Chickpea lentil soup.
Yeah, like
they're not living in a castle or in a hotel where they have room service.
But it's not even like basic stuff. It's not even like look, just whatever. Or like I love how they're like, oh no, just come over and walk our dog, or like wash our dishes, or vacuum the house.
Again, if you can't walk your own dog, then you shouldn't have a dog. You aren't responsible enough to have a dog.
I completely
hate
agree.
These people if they exist.
Yeah,
I hope this person was on the
What gets me right is I'm like, I hate that it becomes one of those things like, let's bash millennials, because it's not a this kind of overarching idea that there is this millennial behavior is not a thing. Like it's
because
just
James, everyone that was born between the years 84 or
82,
right through until what was it 99 or something. They're all the same. They're this homogenous group of people that all think, act, and behave the same.
No, these guys are just dickheads.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the whole using an argument and grouping an entire people under one name is stupid, and you're stupid if you do it.
Well, you could equally turn around and go, I heard an old person turn around and say something horrifically racist the other day. Therefore, all baby boomers are racist. Like, but anyway, I just thought that was quite funny. I thought that would wind you up a little bit.
They are though.
Yeah. No. All right. Moving right along. Okay, 30-second waffle. Here we go.
30-second waffle.
We're blasting through this.
We're blitzing.
For all of you watching on YouTube, and please, if you are watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, because smash like and subscribe, because that would really help us out with all of our bits and pieces. But tonight we've managed to do this in one take so far, which I'm loving. Yeah. Which is great.
It's because I did sports today, so
it must be you're on to it. So we've done it all.
By the way, before when you said smash it, like and subscribe, only do that if you want to. You don't have to.
No,
it's up to you.
But please do. Yeah. We're also on that note. We're one follower away on Twitch before we can apply for affiliation. One follower. So if you're out there and you haven't followed
us on
Twitch,
the confetti cannons.
Please follow us on Twitch, and then we have met our affiliation goals. Which will be so cool. So one more follower and we're there. Right, okay.
So close.
30-second waffle. Let's do this. Now.
I think you're...
I went first last time. It's you.
Damn it. The internet is written in ink.
Right. Let's do this.
Okay.
Now, these 30-second waffles have been becoming harder and harder every week. So,
more and more niche.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's see how we go.
Okay.
Oh, what have we got here?
Oh, okay.
Yep. What is it?
Okay. Justify why formatting any text is a waste of time.
Oh, this one's right up your alley. You'll love it. It's great. It's sort of your go-to.
Formatting any text is a waste of time because text are just the letters that make up words, which make up sentences, which make up paragraphs. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter how you format it, the message is always going to be the same. And isn't that the whole point? The point of text and conversation and statements are that the letters and the words and the sentences they make up. So you don't need to format them. It doesn't make a difference. The message is always going to be the same, and that's the entire point of text.
There you go. Boom. Well done.
I hate that.
That was a hard one.
Everything I said was wrong. Formatting text is incredibly important.
That was really good. I think that was a producer Caroline question. That was a good one.
Wow.
That was right up your alley.
Smile.
Yeah.
Smug
Producer
smile
Caroline is very happy with herself right now.
Looking very happy. And
can you pass me the little grey thing over there? Right. Okay.
Let's do it.
Right, let's have a look. Okay, this one is a Discord one, and this is from Esoterica. Is great. How long would it take to fill an Olympic swimming pool with baked beans? I don't know that I'm qualified to answer this question.
Again, who is?
How long would it take to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool with baked beans? In order to fill an Olympic swimming pool with baked beans, the first thing that you would have to consider is your delivery system for baked beans. Now, obviously, if you were going to spend time using cans of baked beans, this is going to take forever because, you'd have to open it, then there'd be the health and safety things with, strains, repetitive injuries, that sort of stuff. My suggestion would be go straight to Waddies, just load them into the back of dump trucks, then put them straight into the pool. There you go, bada bing, bada boom, 20 minutes.
Here first, folks. 20 minutes. 20.
That is of course completely scientifically based. There's dump trucks full of baked beans. Swimming pools.
What would be the consistency wise if you jumped into that pool? What would happen?
I would imagine it would be unpleasant.
Would it just be sort of a like you'd hit it and you'd go down slightly, but you wouldn't go all the way down?
No. So obviously, I think you're probably heavier than you just kind of sink to the bottom slowly of baked beans.
Very slowly.
What worries me more, you see, and these are the questions that don't get answered, is it's not about filling the Olympic swimming pool with baked beans. It's what do you do with all the baked beans once you've filled the swimming pool? Then some poor person has to come through and empty that swimming pool,
cleaning all that.
And that's not a pleasant experience.
Are they Heinz or Waddies baked beans?
I have to be Heinz. You can't have Waddies baked beans.
The only
reason I said Waddies baked beans because I said go to Waddies and fill up dump trucks.
Well, they're
because
local.
that's
they're local.
Well, no, it's about all they're good for is filling up Olympic-sized swimming pools with baked beans.
Where else are you going to use those baked beans?
That's right. You're certainly not going to eat them.
Correct. I don't think we're getting Waddies as a sponsor anytime soon.
Can I grab the bottle opener there for you so I can enjoy
a sweet Moa beverage?
Yes, a sweet Moa beverage.
Well,
right.
I think this is James's
question. This is from me. You are right. This is. I thought long and hard about this question, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy it, because I thought it would be right up your alley. Yeah. Are you going to tell us what the question is? You have to. Yeah.
The 80s / Andrew Lloyd Webber period of musical theatre is the best. Nothing or anything worth.
Nothing of any worth.
Of any worth has been written since or is overhyped.
Yep.
I
like this question. I wrote it.
Okay, so in the 80s, Andrew Lloyd Webber did a couple of shows. He did things like Cats and Phantom of the Opera in the 80s. Now, when people talk about musical theatre, what shows do they talk about? They talk about Phantom of the Opera, they talk about Cats. They may have a few sort of outliers, that they mention, but when you go to a theatre, you want to have a motive response, and no other shows give you more of an emotive response than these shows. They go straight for the heart, and they try really hard
to wind down the time.
They try really hard, but utterly shallow. Shallow pop ballad operas, singles written for them. Do you
know what I find interesting is I remember thinking as a kid and obviously I'm young enough. All of those were coming out during my lifetime. So I remember thinking there was a period sort of in the 90s, 90s early 2000s, where not a lot was happening.
Yeah.
Sort of new stuff was really happening with musical theatre. And that was sort of the prevailing idea. It was kind of like late 70s, 80s, you know, that Andrew Lloyd Webber sort of Sondheim period of musicals was kind of it. Like that was the golden age of modern musical theatre, and nobody was writing stuff that was, you know, because if you think about those times, that's all your Les Mises, I mean, Les Mis is obviously not Andrew Lloyd Webber, but, you know, your Les Mises, your Phantoms, you know, all those big musicals, and it was kind of like everything else that was coming out after that was kind of like a bit. Yeah. And we seem to have entered another period of like boom music, like awesome musicals, really good ones.
Fantastic.
Not spectacle musicals like, you know, Wicked and stuff, which are meh. But like, you know, like just really good, well written stuff.
And I look, I actually like Andrew Lloyd Webber. Like I mean, for me, going on about that, I prefer. Yeah. I prefer his earlier stuff.
I do too.
I do. I actually prefer the because Evita came out late 70s, and I prefer JC. JC's my favourite Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah, and
that
and
Evita.
I prefer it. I feel like it's too processed, and I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber found a winning formula when he with Evita when he released singles.
Yep.
So, you know, you've got to have your pop song in there that boosts the... So, and I think which artificially creates... It's why Andrew Lloyd Webber shows are such a household name. Because he actually...
Well, he brought the mainstream to
in
musical theatre. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, which doesn't correlate necessarily with quality. There are plenty of shows written around that time that didn't have those singles, but that are just as good, if not better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right, okay. Give me the last one.
Let's do it.
Let's see. This is your one, is it? This is one from
you,
you, I think. Oh my God. This is not even a question. This is one word. Justify homeopathy. I hate you so much. I can't describe to you.
You sound like you need a couple of drops of lavender water.
Homeopathy is a legitimate medicine. You know, if you are concerned that Big Pharma is out to get you, then homeopathy is the way to go. And certainly there have been statistically negligible, you know, studies to prove that things like arnica and things like that help you in terms of bruising and, you know, a vague sense of unease and, you know, a little bit of anxiety, you know, done. Thank God for that. Look, basically, what homeopathy is really good for is if you have too much money and a vague sense of unease, you know, homeopathy will help you by relieving you of your money and potentially, you know, maybe giving you a placebo effect to you know.
I think placebos sometimes happen.
Well, it'd have to because it's the only thing that's working in homeopathy. Yeah. Like, you know, oh my God, please, you know. Seek medical help. If things are going actually wrong, seek medical help. Yeah. Look, and I have no problem with that sort of stuff. Again, if your biggest problem in life is a general sense of unease and you know, taking if you're not 3 drops of magic water in the morning is going to make you feel better, then by all means do it and pay your $30 for whatever. Like, go nuts. Yeah. However, when, you know, they turn around and they're like, we can cure cancer. No, you can't. All you're doing is charging people lots of money, you know, and you know, debunking them going and seeking actual medical help. So no, I think malicious. That's it's charlatanism, and I have no track with it. You know, again, vague sense of unease, you know, that sort of thing. Go nuts. Like,
fair enough.
You know, Thank you for that. I'm so riled. So riled.
While I was writing it, I thought
that's what do you call it? That's way more than a 30-second waffle for how I feel about homeopathy.
That's a whole that's a what's on top.
That's 2 episodes of Esoterica is how I feel about homeopathy. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here on our episode here on Easter weekend.
Which episode is it? 22.
22.
Nice.
So 22 episodes here on our Easter weekend, and we look, honestly, we felt so privileged. We were going through. We do look at things like analytics and stuff afterwards, and it was really awesome to see for us that things are growing and stuff's happening. So thank you so much for that. Again, if you do enjoy what we do. Like and subscribe wherever you are, or rate us if you're not on YouTube. And I do suggest that if you don't watch this on YouTube, please pop across to the YouTube and have a look, because obviously you get the video feed as well. Come join us on Twitch for our streams. This weekend is Alien Isolation, and we'll be carrying on with that, and currently looking for another thing for us to finish off streaming. But again, one away from our affiliation. One away
on Twitch.
So we thank you to all of those people that have followed us on Twitch. If you haven't, please pop across and come check out our streams. We love hanging out with you. We love talking to you on the Twitch stuff, and it gives you a really good opportunity to interact with us in real time, which is really cool. Jump on the Discord. Follow us in all the links below if you're here on YouTube. If not, all the links will be posted. Jump on, and we will have some exciting news coming up for you very shortly.
We have some very exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, very, very exciting stuff. There's stuff that we're really excited about over the next little while.
It is happening.
It is happening. So make sure you subscribe, that sort of stuff, so you'll be notified of all of those changes and that sort of cool stuff. Awesome. Have a fantastic Easter. Have a fantastic week if you're finishing off your last week of school holidays. Go out there, go to your local Anzac service.
Please.
It's an amazing experience, and it means so much to those veterans and things like that.
You're supporting
to
people,
see, especially young people and stuff
support
like that.
Support people that put their lives on the line.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that you're supporting politically what happened. It means you're supporting everyday people that were sent out there.
Absolutely.
Remember that.
So go along, support the Anzacs, and get to your local service. It means a lot.
It's because of them that we
can do this stuff.
That we're here. Yeah, really. Yeah.
So thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you online.
Catch you later.